Hello everyone, it is Cyberperson. Welcome back to another episode of Boom Beach, and in this episode of Boom Beach I'm going to tell you guys how you are going to be able to defeat Colonel Gearheart on the very first base that she has just spawned. So as you guys can see, War Factory spotted. Let's actually take a look at the base. So this base is very impressive. Essentially it is like a mini operation, and as you guys can see, the first thing that you notice are going to be these glowing buildings. The reason why they are glowing is because this damage amplifier is reaching those buildings, and these buildings are going to be getting a damage boost of 50% on top of what they already have. So they're doing a lot of damage on top of that. And then at the right side you also got these damage amplifiers over here, and there's two rocket launchers covered in those damage amplifiers. So you know, you gotta be careful with these two rocket launchers as they are the most deadly out there. Then on top of that we got a couple of boosted up statues. We got a building health, 324%, and one at the top here, a building defense building damage, 111%, and that is bringing the headquarters up to about 600,000 health. So very dangerous base. You got 3 attempts in order to take her down, and there's actually 2 ways of taking her down. The first way is actually, of course, taking down the base, getting all of the points out there. But the other way is actually taking down as many factory supplies as you can. And for each building that you take down, you're going to be getting those gear points at the left side. And based on the amount of points that you have, you're going to be getting certain rewards every single time you're going to be reaching that. So this is what is up for grabs today. And there's actually 6 prototype modules up for grabs. Not too bad, I must say. So what you need to know also is that the prototype modules are having an incredibly low drop rate. So you got to take that into consideration. This is probably going to be your only chance to get a lot of them at the same time. Now, the way I figured out how you're going to be able to take down this base is going to be with only Zookas. Now, if you want to be sniping away factory supplies just like normal, you can always do that. Just use like something like Grenadiers or only Rifleman with like heavy or something like that, or just heavy Zooka. But the fact of the matter is, take into consideration you got a shock launcher over here, you got 2 shock launchers over here, you got rocket launchers over here, and you got a rocket launcher over there at the right side. And those rocket launchers are actually quite deadly, so make sure you take that into consideration whenever you're going to try to get all of those buildings over here. So that being said, let's get into tactics about how we can actually take this base out. Now what you're going to be needing is to shock 4 times. I'm going to show you guys a little screenshot of where exactly you need to shock. And you're going to have to take down the left side with all of those rocket launchers. The right side with all of those shock launchers over there. At the bottom, you're going to be having to shock 3 shock launchers over there. And then at the HQ, I'm going to show you guys exactly where you need to shock. Where you need to shock is going to be on the conveyor belt, where all of these little prototype thingies, I don't know what they are, like these little power cells or something like that are passing by. Like, it's passing by about now. You need to be shocking on that location, and if you do that, you're going to be getting this machine gun, and all 4 of the flamethrowers. That one is very essential, take that into consideration. So that being said, now that you guys know where to shock, let's actually take a look at how we're going to be able to take down this base. So first of all, I already tried this out for myself, and I failed because obviously I did it wrong. But hopefully you guys can learn from my attacks, and that way you guys are actually going to be able to take this one down. So in order for you to do this efficiently, you're going to be needing enough gunboat energy to drop 4 shocks, and of course drop 2 flares. And then drop a lot of smokes as well. So I boosted up literally everything. I boosted up all of my guardians for gunboat energy, boosted up my masterpiece, and I boosted up both my magma statues. But it isn't necessarily a thing you have to do. I think that the troop damage is definitely a must, but I'm not sure about the troop health. I mean, they are Zookas. They're going to be dying really fast. You might want to be doing this, but it's completely optional. So that being said, let's actually go ahead and take a look at my first attack that we've been doing on Colonel Gearheart, and that was this attack. So essentially what you want to be doing is you want to be taking out these mines that are going to be in the way. So you drop an artillery onto those mines, and you want to be dropping a barrage here, because that is just the easiest way of taking it out. I did a different way, and that resulted in this. So I dropped my critters, and it didn't grab all of the mines, so I had to drop an additional artillery on there, and that is just a waste of energy. After that, you want to be dropping a flare onto the supply boxes, and in front of the color change, like where they're landing, you see the little color change here at the sides. you want to be dropping your smoke so that way the Zookas get inside of the smokes and don't actually do damage onto the factory supplies there. Then what you want to be doing is dropping a flare behind the HQ, and I will get a little bit more in depth with that, where exactly that needs to be, so that way your Zookas are going to be moving up to the HQ. Essentially, your goal is going to be to snipe the HQ with the Zookas, and that is why this attack strategy is so crucial to do it properly, because if you don't do it properly, your Zookas are going to be dying, and you're not going to be taking any factory supplies at all, resulting in you getting nothing, just like me. So what happened here was I made my Zookas up there, but I didn't shock properly. As you guys can see, I didn't shock the flamethrower at the right side. Half of my force is done, and then as you guys can see, the rocket launcher starts to kicking as well. And if you don't have the medkits to kind of back up for that, you know, you're just gonna die as if it's nothing. That being said, let's take a look at my second attack. My second attack, I had a grab on how I was going to be able to do things. But once again, I made a little mistake here. So, my first way of doing this was a little bit better already. Decided to drop the smokes there to make my Zookas go up there. Then the flare. I would suggest dropping it a little bit behind that even. In between the statue and the rocket launcher. Like, drop a little bit behind that even. That is going to be my suggestion to you guys. You might want to be doing that a little bit different. You might think that this is okay. It all depends on you. And as you guys can see, be careful of these mines over here, because they are going to be hurting your Zookas. And that is maybe why you want to be boosting up your troop health masterpiece. Now, as far as this goes, my flare ran out. So that's something that I noticed. If your flare is long enough, you might want to be reflaring to get all of your units together there. And then, of course, you gotta be dropping your shocks. But once again, the way I shocked this wasn't the correct way of doing this. And as you guys can see, in result of that, we ended up dying. And I'm gonna show you guys the last attack that I did. On this one, I was a real idiot, because I was like, let's just see how we can shock this. Little did I know this was my last attack, but this is how you want to be shocking it. Once again, on the conveyor belt is where you want to be dropping the shock. This is a Dr. Terra base. You also want to be getting these 3 rocket launchers into one shock. These 2 shock launchers, and of course, these 3 rocket launchers over there as well. And that pretty much covers all you need to know in how you can take down Colonel Gearheart. I know it may not really sound that convincing, but try it out for yourself. See how well you're going to be doing, and I'm pretty certain that some of you guys are going to be able to take down this base. Please learn from my attacks. My attacks weren't the best out there. You might want to be dropping a flare down here at the top, and then reflaring onto the HQ as well in the ends. That way, all of your Zookas are going to be targeting the base building over there. So that's going to be doing it for this episode of Colonel Gearheart. Hope that you guys enjoy. Next time around, I'm going to show you guys some live attacks. I was literally like, it was 6 AM the moment I recorded this, and right now it is 8 AM. I just woke up. I can finally do a commentary. So that being said, yeah, I hope this helps you out. If it did, please let me know in the comments below, because that way I know I did my you know, my duty right here. So that being said, as always, make sure that if you guys like this video, to boom, give it a thumbs up. And that being said, this has been Reverser for Boom Beach. I'm gonna be signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one.